Thank you very much, Hulu. The submission tonight for me was more, I feel like it was strategic ambiguity. Like I feel that is was the true definition of it because he was not direct as in he was as if he has no contact with the generals and the Chiwenga and basically was asking for help as if he's standing on our behalf. I really feel that he was trying to bring himself down to the level of the general citizens to act like I'm just like you. I'm not able to reach the number one office. So I'm going to put a plea here publicly, like how you would if you want to speak to someone in office. So I feel like that was a very clever strategy that he used. But again, I still feel like it's not enough for a lot of people. It's not enough for people to be moved and say, is he really is in Chiwenga's corner? Is he really speaking on his behalf? I don't think that was enough for people to be able to respond. But who let's hear from people and let's hear how they took the speech. Thank you so much.
Right. So Hulu, yeah, from the way I'm looking at things, for the first time, a Comrade Geza has come face to face with the reality that most Zimbabweans who are not connected to ZANU PF are in. The reality of individuals who are in power and who never, and I mean NEVER, never pay attention to anyone. Someone like you, Hulu, when certain people were violating your property and you were crying on Twitter, they don't care. When Sylvia Maposa, a ZANU PF lady, by the way, a mother, on 1 August, was shot at the back in the very same place that they have now put the statue of Nehanda to desecrate the spirit of the 19th century Nehanda. Now, when all that happened, I remember Hulu. I called General Chiwenga. I was live on camera. And if you can go to that live video, Hulu, and you will see, I familiarized myself with General Chiwenga because he knows me, he knows my name. And so I said, General Chwenga, what is happening? The videos that I'm seeing right now, people are being shot. And General Chwenga was indifferent. He didn't seem concerned. Over the phone, I was live on camera. And the person that was shot there, that was a ZANU PF lady. Most of the people who were shot on 1 August were ZANU PF members. One of them was Dread, a certain ZANU PF member who was even dressed in a regalia, ZANU PF regalia. None of them were Chamisa's people. Maybe perhaps one person, but I think that other colored dreadlocked man was even from Noah Manyika's party. And yet, these people were shot in Chamisa's name. They were said that they're Chamisa's people. But what was worse in that time was the indifference, the lack of feeling that General Chiwenga and the generals had. That day, Hulu, 1 August 2018, was an opportunity to actually move in and do another Operation Restore Legacy on ED because ED had violated the principles of Nziradzema Soja. ED did not use the army, by the way, on that day. I know there's some paperwork that they later on stitched up. He actually used his own private bodyguards to do that job. So that was a crime. General Chiwenga should have moved on 1 August 2018, but it looks like he allowed himself to be used by someone. And even General Sanyatwe allowed himself to be used in the Motlante Commission to shield Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is the one who was supposed to testify before Galema Motlante why he deployed soldiers to shoot civilians under the guise that there was violence, that there were bombings in First Street when there was none. There have been many times, by the way, Hulu, when Ziradzima Soja has been violated, and the generals have not done anything at all. And Hulu, maybe before someone comes in here, there is another important one, an important development, which I foresaw. By the way, as an investigator, I usually pick events. Not that I'm perfect, but sometimes I can foresee what things are going to be 10 years later. So 6 years ago, I discovered that Mnangagwa was using the Mary Chiwenga case. I just knew things. Even before the White City bombing, I knew it. I even said it at one time that Chiwenga is going to be bombed. A month before it had happened, I just knew stuff. And do you know what? And that is on record, by the way. So when I did that, when the Mary thing started, the accusations, I knew that General Chiwenga is going to be the one who is in trouble. So I started contacting General Chiwenga and saying, look, General Chiwenga, your ex-wife or your wife or whatever, you need to to help her to get treatments. And I, you know what? I started back then. I was given the cold shoulder. Folks, we've got to talk the truth here. Tautaura chokwadi nhasi manheru. Hatisi kuzobhabhadzira panapa because mudhara Geza tinomufarira kana kuti mudhara Chiwenga tinomufarira. Ngatitaure nechokwadi. Tine nyika one and we only have one life to live. So you know what? I called General Chiwenga many times. I didn't call him once. Many times, General Chwenga, murongerwa chini chichi. Dai mangogadzirisa. We can't have you, someone as senior as you, your wife, your ex-wife, your kid's mother being treated in this way. And General Chwenga couldn't see that the person who had created the circumstances around all that was Mnangagwa. He couldn't see it, Hulu. And I'm just saying it, folks. You, if Zimbabweans want to see this, you can go and check out all my interviews. I didn't interview General Chiwenga alone. I interviewed even the First Lady. I interviewed many people. And then it's only this year that I managed to interview Mary Chiwenga. But what I'm saying here, folks, is that I am trying to show people that what Comrade Geza has been faced today is what most Zimbabweans have been suffering. They
Yeah.
many times they've been screaming out Hulu. They do not listen. Wana General Chiwenga do not listen. They've not been listening for 7 years. While the foundations of the liberation struggle, nzira dzemasoja dzichita sei dzichiviolatewa.
Okay, Ulu, Mina, analysis is like this. I think Ugeza, slowly and surely, reality is dawning on him. He's now trying to bring himself to Ipovo level so that he can be able to convince people. I don't know if you understand. Because, hey, Ulu, like I said, I will forever salute Ugeza because he tried. Honestly, he managed to put on hold into 2030. On that, I will forever salute him. But however, I feel like Ugeza, he left the people behind. He did not do a social contract with us, the people. If at least he had come to us, the people first, maybe we could be talking about something. What he said today, yes, it really touched me. It really, really touched me. But however, Asazi for Chiwenga are going to do something about it because those guys really, I don't think they care. It's now up to Zimbos, it's now up to the youth to do something. I wish if the youth can stand up and do something. Ngizosholoko Ulu ngiyabonga. Or it might be about strategic ambiguity, whatever. But well, I think the people that you hoped that are going to back him, abeko Ulu, balobu kwala, they are cowards. Those people that was expecting, which okay, fine, if I do this, people are going to come. Ambaboni. So I don't want to say yes, he has reached a dead end. But well, maybe singachonja.
Hello guys. The way I see this situation and it nyaya yakadraftwa kudhara the way I see it. So if you see from the first day Mr. Geza pakatanga, first speech vaitaura nechirungu, then the second one vaitaura neshona, nhasi vangotaura neshona chete. So you can see it's zvakuda kuita manje. It's a because vatone munhu wavada kutiisa kudhara, you can see kuti zvinhu zvakatorongwa kudhara. Mogona kuona action pamberi pava because the way yazviri kuitika zvinhu zvakatoplanwa kuti titori kumashure redu. But yeah, that's what I see panyaya iyi.
Yeah. Hi. One thing that is very clear when I was watching this is the man who claimed that he has got access to all these guys. He has got access to Chiwenga. He has got access to the generals. He made us believe that he was talking to them and he knew what was going on. When I was watching today's YouTube presentation, it shows that he's a man who doesn't have access to these guys. Oh, it means that the guys had actually made him believe that they were going to do something. It's proving he has absolutely no idea what is going on. In his tone, in his voice, it sounds like he's begging the guys to do something. He's asking them to do something. But if he had access to them, what can stop him from picking up the phone and say, guys, let's do something? If he's capable of doing something, as far as I'm concerned, this is now a desperate man who knows that his credibility is on the line. He is presenting a macho kind of presentation and macho type of access. And in his presentation, he's showing us that he does not have access to the people that he first claimed he's got access to. And that's scary for those that were riding with him.
There's a certain statement that I wish to share, and I'm hoping one of these days, when eventually Comrade Geza chooses to come live, I would love to speak, and I don't think he minds me sharing this because it was all done in the national interest. It was a conversation in the national interest, and I know you folks will say Zigananda like Vana Weeknell, or you talk about this and that, you talk about maybe the Mudas and the like. I spoke about religious characters. I started with Maxo Chukwumbuzo. And then I said, look, there's this cluster of these Maxo Chukwumbuzos and these religious people. How are you going to manage? And you know what, Hulu? I was speaking from experience. And I know you wouldn't do that, Hulu. But these religious characters that we have in Zimbabwe, they have a way of capturing the mental health of people that could actually alter the direction of the decision making of important people. What I mean is that my pastor Ayaya, I'll give you an example. Yuna Guti, I personally experienced a strong grip of mental control when I was growing up, that I couldn't think for myself. I couldn't do anything without imagining or praying or mentioning her and her husband's name. This was the time when a sibling of mine had taken me to Ezekiel Guti's cult. The kind of control that these people, now if I was someone in the military, Hulu, today, and my phone number was in the hands of, let's say, someone like Hubert Angel, someone like Makandiwa, excuse me, maybe like the Gutis and the like. I promise you, I mean, today, let's just assume I was Major General Chikanza today. I was in the army and I'm there in Zimbabwe. And Yuna Guti has got my phone number. Hulu, I would never even imagine to go against ED. I'm being
Yeah,
frank with
all
you.
right.
So I'm just trying to say here, you see, the power that these religious monsters that people idolize, right, it has been underestimated. And I think when I spoke to Geza, you know what he then said to me? He said to me, "Vanenge vari vangani?" And I think, and that is where, a lot of people who've not had exposure to these demons that Mnangagwa has planted here and there that protect Mnangagwa, they've not been able to appropriate how I won't say impenetrable, but how not so easy it is until you deal with these characters. Yeah.
Olo, I will not laugh as per your request, although the edge is there. But you remember, you shall recall my motto: who is saying what to who, to what effect? Any communication takes that motto, Olo. We motto mapepa, Olo. Unobodi papara 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 oti siva. Zvaenda, right? Kuzakukuridza
Can I speak on
kwejongwe.
behalf of this mayor?
Akuti, hold on, I'm speaking, man. Kuzakukuridza kwejongwe hakutadzisi zuva kubuda. Ukangoziva izvozvo kuti ndege yedu nedzine turbulence, you just need to buckle up, stay put. When the turbulence is gone, you can move around again, right? Comrade Geza says in his latest presentation, a desperate one, trying now to woo Povo to his side. He actually misleads people. He's lying. Which Povo did he speak to? How many of them? He's saying, "Ndiri kugara uku kuno kusango." Which Povo has spoken to him, right? He's a lone wolf fighting his own battle. To what end, I don't know. But he was very clear on the onset. "Ndiri kutodawo mazimota, ndiri kutodawo gadhi. Chinhu chedu ichi." Where is Povo located in that statement? That was the most profound in a wrong way statement that he made, in my view. Ndikutodawo, hulu, ndikutodawo, chinhu chedu ichi. Chinhu nani, kana matoti chedu, nani. He doesn't say the nani wacho. Takairwira tatiriko isusu. Of course, I respect him for that. May the heavens bless him for giving me an identity that I'm super proud of. But as far as the ongoings of our country is concerned, Uhuru, the country is moving on. Is it going in the right direction that we want, all Zimbabweans? Maybe not, but can it be better? Yes. Is there work being done to make it better? Yes, of course. The projections by other independent relevant bodies are showing growth in their projections. For honest, sorry, there's a bit of noise here, but it's gone. Yeah, but yeah, Hulu. Comrade Geza just needs to climb down the high horse, come home, say his apologies, and move on with others. So I hope this is a plea for help on his part to reintegrate with the motherboard, which is also it's always okay. He's not the first. There's been people like this before. History repeated itself. But to try and bring in the support from General Chwenga, which is not there, that he tried to sell people on the onset, that plan. I plan and you can almost see now things have revealed. You know, time is a you cannot stand the biodegradableness of time. Don't make bold statements. I told you last time, Hulu, if your manager gives you a deadline, it's a sign of weakness. I don't give deadlines. I just ask the individual, saying, tell me when you're going to do it. When can you deliver it? Make them responsible for their own deadlines. Issuing ultimatums, Hulu, is never a good thing in life. Because if you find a defiant individual or a defiant society, you will walk away with an egg on your face. Don't issue deadlines or ultimatums.
Yeah.
Negotiating is a better thing to do. But I'm
All right.
actually a
All right.
proponent of people highlighting issue. A pothole on our roads will kill you and me if we
All
don't
right.
speak about it. But the
Yeah.
context in which Comrade Geza is talking is not to cover those problems.
Okay.
He's fighting for his own
All right, taxi
gains.
driver.
Many thanks.
Okay, all right, let's move forward. So, ha, Chirungu, that's why since English is not our first language. But you know, when you say that I've been a critic of Comrade Geza, from the beginning, this is from the beginning. And I've always made myself clear for why I did not agree with certain things that he was saying. It didn't make sense to me. I was not just working on the fact that, oh, it's about disliking someone or it's about working for any political side. Not at all. It was all about being Zimbabwean and being objective. And from the beginning, what I did not understand was there was a lot of contradictions in his presentation, the things he would say one time and the other things he would say the other time. And not just that, if you're going to say something, I want to see results. So it became more of a situation where he would say things and he would promise you things. In fact, initially he said that no one would be arrested. So I was surprised where someone like Blessed Mtlanga was incarcerated because Jakanza Musungwe, and that was the premises of what was being said, that you will not be arrested. So I was now shocked that someone who's interviewed Comrade Geza is being arrested. It made no sense to me. So it wasn't even an issue of not liking him or what he was his messaging, but it was about, okay, you are saying one thing, but something different is happening. Make it make sense for me. And because of the ranking that he had as well in ZANU PF, I was expecting more. I was expecting evidence, because I've become tired of this kind of thing whereby Munoneta Susu, who hosts spaces, and then we come and have a discussion and we say, oh, guys, this and this is happening. What? And then someone will say to you, give us the evidence. We don't have the evidence. You know why we don't have the evidence? Because Atishande Kuma high profile levels, Hulu. But then here you've got Comrade Geza, Munangari mu ina sanctum, inonzi sanctum, inonzi imuchimu ina inas, mezano PF. And then he talks about things, but he's not putting evidence to support it. Zvasiyana chine isusu tinongotaura pano pamaspace. How different are we? We become the same. Right? And then there was the other things that I also did not understand about. He would then say, oh, I'm calling all Zimbabweans, enter the streets. Zimbabweans, you don't enter the streets. He says, right. So when you have that situation now where he would say things like, enter into the streets, Zimbabweans, in your numbers, and then Zimbabweans don't. And then he comes back and says, the protest was a success. That doesn't make sense to me because I don't need to be, I don't need my degree, fake right? To see, Kuti, you said enter the streets and people stayed at home. 1+1 was not equaling 2. It was equaling 15 when Geza was involved. It's a problem for me. And then he would say, okay, because people stayed at home, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you guys to stay at home, indefinite shutdown. First time, I think I can say 2 days. Then it was indefinite. It makes no sense to me because he's not looking at the practical nature or how Zimbabweans live from hand to mouth. For someone who's saying that Zimbabweans are suffering, why do you want them to suffer more? If you're going to tell them to stay at home, of course you're going to suffer. How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to feed your family? And my business is give people food for free. And then when the new government comes, we'll pay you back. What? So, Hulu, when you say things like, I've always been a critic, you make it sound like I'm the reason why Geza's movement did not work. Hey, I don't have that power. I'm not that powerful. I'm not even that all-knowing. But what I do is I critically and analyze what someone is saying and what I'm seeing, and then I come here and I give a submission. That's all I do. And then but it's not everyone and then that critical ability to analyze. That's all I'm doing. I'm critically analyzing a situation, and I felt that also what I didn't understand, I hope Ulu can now hear me, was the fact that we had opposition players, that we've interacted with on spaces here, coming through and saying, guys, support Geza. To me, those people are chabangus. You've always been saying chabangu, chabangu, what? You are chabangus yourself. Because the moment Geza came through, Makati Che Chamisa aside, because he's on holiday, you literally threw out your whole messaging, everything you've been standing for, to say that we are not ZANU, but you were supporting someone who's ZANU. And then I'm supposed to be in
Thank you,
support of
Solani.
things. I'm about to land my day if you allow me in 30 seconds. So when you have a situation like that, to me, it's a major problem whereby even those in opposition, especially a lot of them who come here speakers and they say, oh, let's support Geza. You guys are the biggest sellouts because you've been saying ZANU-PF must go for the longest time. You support someone who's ZANU-PF. Geza never even said to you that when he takes the new government, if he does do it or manage to do it, you would have an opposition player. He was basically doing the bidding of ZANU-PF. And you guys were playing pawns into a ZANU-PF game, the same way you've been doing for the last 40 plus years. And you think that people like me are not going to come through and tell you to wake up and smell the cocoa? That's all I did in my analysis. So, Hulu, if it means that I was a major critic, and if I go down as someone who was a major critic of Geza, so be it. At the end of the day, zvese zvandakataura ndizvo zvaitika, and hachina kushanda, just like I said it would not work.
Yeah, right. sorry. Yeah, at times, you know what is happening. Personally, I support the M31 movement and I support Comrade Geza. You know, the reason why is because we as Zimbabweans will never be able to remove the Gandanga movement. Why? Because personally, I lost my job because of supporting Chamisa. I lost my brother because of supporting Changirai in 2008. And I've been there with Chamisa, I've been there within the opposition. But right now, the situation we are facing is that the people who advocate for the removal of Mugabe, which include Geza and them, and some of them, they realize this is not correct. And the 2030 agenda of those idiots will go forward because it's simple. Those people have got money and they buy everything with the money, and they can do everything. They can even sell the land to the Bailas to buy buses and to repair the Paranato hospital because the people of Zimbabwe are suffering. That's the bottom line. And who is controlling the economy of Zimbabwe? Everything is Mnangagwa and his children and his wife. And they are plenty because Mnangagwa was able to make a lot of women pregnant, and he controls the Reserve Bank. He controls every sector, even to the local government. And you wonder why Mafume is very similar to children of Mnangagwa. And he has met
Sorry,
so many
Martin,
people,
do
his
we have
relative
any facts
most.
or V11s, or those are just allegations? Because people tomorrow will start running and saying that we're
What I'm
promoting this.
saying is simple. What I'm saying is simple. Mnangagwa had mismanaged the country, and we want something different. And with our capacity as Zimbabweans, through a democratic means, we cannot stop it without the support of the war veterans and the army. And what Geza is doing is not communicating with you. He's trying to bring sense to the generals, to why the situation is getting up to this, and now you are blaming instead of supporting him. That's all what I can say. If you want cars, they'll make deals, they'll get money, they'll buy car for that hijab praise and other people. That money is enough to make to build Paranato Hospital, not to make another deal for them to steal again. We have got minerals. So there must be discipline.
Thank you very much, Martin, for your submission. We're going to try go to
Give another one to speak. And the 23rd, with our attitude, will be a reality because they will change it. He hired Chabangu. We didn't know him within the CCC. And now he's now their Secretary General. And you cannot dispute it because the law can be twisted anytime because they are the ones in control. So once ED is stopped as being the president, the one who come will make a space for democracy. Then we have a free and fair election before 2030, perhaps 2028 or 2027 or 6 months after the removal of Mnangagwa. That's what we demand in Zimbabwe, and we make too much noise of that.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have much to say, but only to repeat what I said before. You know, it is very difficult for Zimbabwe to be successful if it is, led by coups. So, a right-thinking Zimbabwean should castigate the issue of uprising, of trying to go to power through military. You know, people, not all of us can have guns. Only very few people can have those guns, and they can kill in order for them to take power. So I think that the bullet for each and every Zimbabwean should be a vote. So that is what we should push for. And we have said it before that the issue of uprising should be, condemned by everybody. Because whenever you start the issue of coups, a coup will breed another coup. Even Mugabe is the one who started that. He used to say that we took this country by a barrel of gun. You cannot take it through election. But the same happened to him. So this is what he created. So what we need to do as Zimbabweans is to stop that cycle. That cycle is dangerous for our children because you cannot call for an uprising and you are not on the ground. There are a lot of people who are going to be casualties there. I know people may say that that is what the struggle is going to do, but our worry is that that particular same struggle will breed the same thing. If you kill by the sword, that sword will kill you. So let's condemn the issue of uprising. Let's condemn the issue of saying the military should take. I heard people saying that Chwenga is doing nothing. No, he should not do it. We want to vote no matter the challenges that we are facing now, dzikawanda dzikasvika kupi, tinomirira chete tangotsikitsirira kuti tiinde kune zvido zvevanhu. Because nyaya dzenze futi dzatoda kutaura kuti kwagiwa kutozorwadziwa kuti atadza chiwengu azotadza kuuya, that should be condemned. Let's be Zimbabweans, toita fight for democracy that can even satisfy majority, not only those with guns. Thank you very much.